Hi, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Rebecca.
Welcome to Kidding Around Farm. Today we'd like to introduce our children and our farm and what we have accomplished and what we continue to do around our homestead.
We have 10 children and live on a 25-acre homestead in South Carolina where we raise, go ahead.
Chickens, turkeys, cows, pigs, ducks, children of course.
Guineas, cats, and dogs. But the children are the most important part, and that's why we live in the country, because we wanted to raise them in an environment where they could be out running around and having a good time and learning the value of work and growing their own food too.
Hi, my name is Dominic.
Hi, my name is Damien.
Hi, my name is Aunt Claire.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
Hi, I'm Annette.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel. I am 16. I'm a huge Clemson fan and I play football.
Hi, my name is Amelia and I am 10.
Hi, I'm Nicholas.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm 14 and I'm a swimmer.
Hey, my name is Ryan.
Our journey began
21 years ago?
21 years ago when our first son was born, and my wife, she joined the La Leche League, where she learned about good nutrition and breastfeeding and making good decisions that were healthy for her and our family.
After learning more about nutrition and eating healthily from La Leche League, I began making more of our food at home. We had been going out to eat a lot, and we also started canning some food and making our own bread.
As I grew up, I always grew up around a garden. My grandfather had a garden, my great-grandfather had a garden, my dad had a garden. So I always grew up around gardening and enjoyed being around and outdoors, enjoying fresh food straight from the garden.
Growing up, I remember in Alabama that my parents had a great big garden, and we definitely ate plenty out of there. I remember not liking collard greens because my mother would wash them in the washing machine and I would say, oh, they taste like soap. But I also remember my mom canning a lot, and I remember working in the garden, but I have mostly just pleasant memories of that from growing up. Eventually, all of that led to a desire for us to start gardening ourselves. So, with little kids running around all over the place, we started gardening. Well, I don't think we were very successful at it. I can't even really remember how much we grew back then. I know we had some tomatoes, some cucumbers.
Maybe some pepper plants and a few beans. We were doing mostly square foot gardening when our kids were the youngest, when our oldest were the youngest, where we just grew up and in little small areas, and we were not all that successful. We were so busy with our kids, it was...
The garden was just more neglected than we would have liked. But that gardening bug had bitten both of us, and it never went away. We just continued over the years to try to learn more, especially learn more about growing more organically, naturally, so that we wouldn't be exposing ourselves to so many extra added chemicals. And, you know, I began shopping a lot more organically, looking for more healthy items. It was amazing compared to now how difficult it was to find those items back then. But, you know, fortunately lots of things have changed. So eventually, we had 5 kids in that little house, and we were in desperate need to move into a bigger house. So we did.
We prayed and we prayed and we prayed, and God provided us with a house just a few miles from where we were, where we continued to grow a small garden, and we continued to raise our family, and our family continued to grow, and we left there with how many kids?
That house we left with 8 kids.
And God then provided us with the homestead that we had dreamed of having a place to raise our kids and have a big garden and a house that suited us and was large enough to do the things that we wanted to do, where we've continued over the last almost 8 years to raise our own meats, from chicken to turkey to pork. We're on our first experience of trying to butcher a cow here in the near future for some beef. That'll be our first. We can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I've been buying grass-fed beef for, I don't know how long, at least 10 years now. And probably much longer than that, really. But we have, this is just a dream come true now that we have our cows, that we're going to have our own beef finally. So we've been on our homestead here in South Carolina now for almost 8 years. And we've done a great deal and learned a lot. Made a lot of mistakes, and of course continue to make a lot of mistakes, because, you know, despite the fact that we read so much and we try to learn from other people, reading their books, watching their vlogs, reading their blogs, whatever, when you know, putting it into practice in your own situation is different from everybody, and not everybody's family life is the same, and not everybody's growing conditions are the same, and so it's really, I think, always going to have to be a trial and error process. But we, for the most part, have found several things that we really enjoy. We're raising all of our animals in a way that we really appreciate, that is more of a natural environment for them and healthier for them. Where we're moving our chickens around, certainly not nearly as much as we want, but they have a very large electric net fence and a chickshaw in there, thanks to Justin Rhodes. And
actually, they have 2 in there.
Yes, they do. You're right. They have 2 chickshaws in there. Sometimes we separate them up, and one is tilling in our garden, and one is out in the pasture following behind the cows. Sometimes we put them on a compost pile and they're tilling up the compost, whatever. So we just really try to help get our animals to work for us. Last year we were letting them till up an area that we wanted to make into more of a forest garden, and so we put the chickens in there for just about all the winter and gave them constantly more and more leaves to till up in there to first kill the grass, and then just be adding organic matter to the grass all winter long. And that worked pretty good. It didn't keep the grass out when we moved them out and planted things at all, but
we had some things that were successful in it, and we had other things that were not so successful. We started with a cover crop, and then we moved on to planting some more permanent type herbs and plants and trees. And although we were not all that successful, we had a super dry summer, so nothing really was able to get established, even though we were watering. We'll try it again and continue to try to find things that are more drought resistant, and continue to work on building an area that is more wild, more like the forest grows.
Today we can a lot of food, and like we said, we raise most of our own meat. We have a long way to go, I think, with raising a lot of our food from the garden, but we're getting there. It's a process. At some times in life, it's just so busy with the kids and homeschooling and everything else that we do, that we actually just have to kind of let the garden go, which has been the case in the last several months. But you know, we're always looking to build upon everything and learn more, and we wanted to share this journey in our life with all of you. So many people ask us what it's like to raise 10 kids, can't understand how it's possible to be on a farm with 10 children, raising our own food, etc., etc. And so I guess we're just here to say, hey, it is possible. We enjoy it. We love this lifestyle. The kids have what would you say, grown to love it? Some of them love it.
Some of them love it, and some of them are not as excited about it. But as a whole, I believe they all love having the space and they love having the fresh food. More than one of our children will go out in the garden and grab a bean off the vines where we grow our pole beans and just eat them straight out of the garden, or grab a tomato and try it, or help us shell beans, or...
Oh yeah, they're all very helpful. Sometimes you just have to remind them way too much to do their chores around here.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think they like living in the country, and I will never forget, I tell this story to everybody, so YouTube will be no different, but I will never forget several years ago, we had previously processed a couple of our pigs and been eating our own pork for quite a while, and we ran out of sausage. And my daughter, she was, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 at the time, Alex came to me and she looked at me and she said, "Mommy, we need more sausage. You have to go get more pigs." And I just love that, because that was never a go to the grocery store and get more sausage, Mom. It was, we needed to have more pigs because that's where sausage came from. And to me, that was just such a success story that although Alex is not the kind of person who likes to be out messing with the animals, she's a huge help in the garden, and she appreciates where her food comes from.
She does.
And most all of them do. You know, if they eat bacon from the grocery store, since there's never enough bacon on a pig to satisfy our desire for bacon, if they eat bacon from the grocery store, they're always saying, "Wow, that was good, but it wasn't nearly as good as our own homegrown bacon." So that's what this is really about for us. Yes, it's about growing our own food and helping to heal the land that's been overtaxed over the years, overgrazed, and probably in our land's case, used too much for hay. But really, it's about our family and teaching our children
where their food comes from and how it's grown and what's a acceptable method of growing their food, and
how everything that we have are blessings from God, and He has blessed us with this opportunity to live in this environment, and we want to treat it the best way that we can.
We want to be good stewards of the land that God's given us.
And we want our kids outside, running around, having a good time, not constantly hooked on electronics, although in full disclosure, they do love their electronics, much to my dismay. But we definitely limit that and spend as much time outside as we can. But in this vlog, you'll also see us out on other adventures, because as much as we love it here, we love traveling, we love hiking.
We love picking our own fruit, that we aren't able to grow. We like to go strawberry picking, blueberry picking. We love to go apple picking and pear picking.
In the fall, I am scouring for pecans everywhere, anywhere I can find a pecan tree that's not somebody's yard, I'm over there picking up pecans off the ground. I love satisfying our own needs in many ways, certainly not most or all, but in many ways. And we love seeing the world, or maybe not the world so much as this country. But, and just this beautiful country that God has given us. So you'll definitely see some traveling and
just some adventures like hikes, or, going to on a road trip for a day, or
the craziness that is
right.
a large family,
or canning, or making bread, or really there's no telling what you'll come to see from this blog. We're going to just kind of cover our lives and what we've done and what we're going to do, and just wanted to share it with all those who we were able to share it with. It's been quite an adventure so far, and we hope to continue into the next years with great success with all kinds of new adventures and gardening techniques and learning more about organics and sharing all that information with you.
So, again, welcome to Kidding Around Farm. Please subscribe and check out our blog also if you're interested at all in our past travels. Not so much about gardening and homesteading on there, but we have blogged about various trips that we've taken, which at oftentimes can be hilarious. You know, traveling 6 weeks across the country with 10 children and
Pulling our travel trailer.
Yes, it was quite an adventure, and we absolutely loved it. But so many people think you can't do that too, and we did it. We loved it, and would love to do it again. So,
Stay tuned.
yep, check out everything below. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.